call you.
Historic DeMatha Catholic High School is the site for this year's Capital Hoops Challenge, and day 2 of Basketball Day in the DMV, provided by Ticketmaster, has already showed us some fireworks, and it's sure to continue here in Game 3 as it's a battle between Maryland and Virginia as the Georgetown Prep Little Hoyas take on the Bethel Academy Blazers. Welcome, everybody, into DeMatha here in Hyattsville, Maryland, alongside my guy, Coach Jimmy Patsos. I'm Bijan Todd. Coach, the first 2 games today already showed us some amazing basketball. First, the Good Counsel boys team took down Riverdale Baptist in a nail-biter, and then just now we saw Bullis have a fourth-quarter barrage against St. Francis. Can you speak to the level of talent we've seen thus far today?
You just said number 1 or 2, in my opinion, women's basketball player in the country on this court, the Bullis, who was down to St. Francis. Tough St. Francis, Gerald Brown's daughter, played for me. She had a great game. St. Francis had the lead. Ivana and Taylor, number 3, took over. Great game. G.J. Kissel and Good Counsel, who I saw beat Georgetown Prep earlier this year in a game. Good Counsel is in the middle of the WCAC, which is the best league in the country. So make no mistake, that's a big win over them. But now you got Georgetown Prep and Howard Blue. You got a guy going to Purdue. You got some big recruits, some international guys. Bethel's only 2 years old. But Coach Hernandez was at Wilson for a long time, played at Overbrook, where Will Chamberlain went to North Carolina A&T. They're rising and know what they're doing. But Georgetown Prep's in for a battle today.
Yeah, you can see the final scores from the first 2 games. Both of them came down to the last minute or so of regulation. Now, Coach, this game, Georgetown Prep against Bethel, how many times do you see a high school team with 2 7-footers? That's what Georgetown Prep is putting out there.
Very year. Davidson Day had like 3 6'10" guys yesterday. They were as big as I thought. But yet Glenn Furlow and Paul was 6. Their quickness bothered them. I just talked to the coach at Bethel. They're going to try and use their quickness versus Georgetown Prep size. Make no mistake, these guys all know each other from AAU. That's like Team Durant. In other words, this is how this stuff goes. There's a lot of different AAU teams involved. And that's where the kids go to school. But they know each other. And Bethel, just because it's a second-year school, they're on the rise. But they don't have the size. They'll press a little bit. They can't throw it inside, but they do have a big guy. But what's going on at Georgetown Prep? Brian Cashman, GM of the Yankees, to Supreme Court justices, to great players all over the country. It's a traditional program. But they have a special player in a 7-footer going to Purdue.
Yeah, that's Sinan Wan. You see him on your screen right now, as you mentioned, Coach. Top 100 recruit in the country, number 79. He follows a long line of players who commit to Purdue at 7 feet. He's going to continue on the legacy of guys like Zach Edey and Isaac Haas. What can he do here at Georgetown Prep to ensure that his team gets a win today against what they call Be the One Academy in Bethel?
I would say a little bit of inside and out. He can't just shoot threes. If you leave him alone, he can shoot, but he's going to have to score inside. And Bethel has a 300-pound center, so he's going to push him around. But I'm just interested to see Georgetown Prep's overall approach, because this is all about, I said this before yesterday, Bijan, this is a great, they're stepping on a conference right now to beat, they want to win the IAC. That's what they want to do. Georgetown Prep, this is a prep game to how you beat Landon and Bullis and all these teams and Civil Friends all in that league to win your league.
Let's take it to the third member of our broadcast crew, Juliana Morgan, who has more on today's matchup.
Hey, guys. Yeah, this Georgetown Prep team is more than just talented. They are a competitive roster built on resilience, excellence, and adaptability. These players have come to the DMV from across the globe, adjusting to both the American demanding academic environment and the play. At the center of that roster is Sinan Huan, the 7'1" Purdue commit who brings experience from China's national team every single summer. Coach Blue told me that his size, his skill, and his leadership has set the tone for this roster. This roster also includes players from Turkey and Brazil, both bringing unique styles to the court. For Bethel Academy, Devin Totley is the lone senior and an offensive spark. He's been a confident scorer who also controls the tempo and creates opportunities for this young roster. It should be a great game today, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Juliana. And a great point, yeah, Coach, to Juliana's point. Looking at this Georgetown Prep roster, it's like walking through Epcot. Like, you have every corner of the globe represented.
They've always had a good, feel for the balance between local kids and internationals or kids that move in. Remember, they can house kids there. But having a kid from Turkey and China, that's reaching the globe. But you have 2 big basketball countries.
Three-pointer on the way, no good. That was Karan Perez for Bethel. Rebound pops out to Kai Gray. His 3 is no good. And there's Salim Yalcin for Georgetown Prep, who pulls down the board. And we are underway in Game 3 of Day 2 of Basketball Day in the DMV. That's Evan Edwards for Georgetown Prep. They call him Bruiser, Coach, and when you watch him play, you can tell why he got that nickname. He just uses his physicality on both ends of the floor.
See, that's where you can't foul him. I don't know if he was going to make that. But Uzziah Morton is a big guy. Just don't follow him.
Huge guy.
He was 335 when he got to school. He's down to 305. Good for him. The coaching staff, MJ, my friend, who runs sort of their off-the-court stuff.
There's Georgetown Prep head coach Howard Blue. He's in his 7th season here with the Little Hoyas. 7-6 this year. They're just looking to get back to the IAC championship. Lost the past 2 years to Bullis. So that rivalry, Georgetown Prep and Bullis, it seems like all roads point towards that championship rematch happening again.
Yeah, it's like they're big lacrosse schools, and Landon's in the league, and there's lots of different players. But Bullis and Bruce Kelly have done an unbelievable job. They won the state last year. Mark Turner runs Capital Hoops. Why we're having this tournament, also runs end of the year. Bullis is different this year. This might be Georgetown Prep's year because Bullis lost guys to Connecticut and Marquette. You can't just keep losing guys to Connecticut and Marquette and expect to be that good.
Here's the leader of Bethel. It's Devin Tolley, the transfer from St. John's. We talked to him last year, basketball day in the DMV, and he gets a quick deuce.
That's why I like him. Got a little Russell Westbrook in him where he'll play a little bit inside out, rebound. He'll do a little very. He's the only senior.
Now that's a compliment, comparing a senior to Russell Westbrook. I like that for him. Here's Edwards, plowing his way into the lane. Floater, no. Rebound. Fought for by, as you mentioned it, Coach, Uzziah Morton. We're going to talk about him in a minute. First, let's go to the Bethel Academy head coach, Angelo Hernandez. First season at Bethel, but it's his 19th year coaching. And it's an interesting situation they got there at Bethel. He compared it to a college. You spend more time in the gym than you do in the classroom. About 4 hours in class every day, 7 to 8 hours in the gym working on your game. That's what they got going at Bethel.
Yeah, that's a lot of. I would prefer it if it was the other way, but that's all right. That's what he can do right there. See,
pointer up and good for Salim Yalci, the junior from Turkey, who we mentioned, Coach. Leads the team in 3-point percentage, shooting at 38%.
Very good. I talked to him before the game. We were talking about Hody Turkoglu and all the guys from Fenerbahce. Shuran Shezikowicz is the best coach right now in Turkey and Fenerbahce. And this guy's a student of the game. And what I liked about him was, Salim was like, I'm a junior, I got to get better, but I came over here. Everybody understands Istanbul is big as New York, but they have as good a basketball as anybody in the country, in the world right now, because they have really good league, they have good TV, they have money over there, right? So whether they're playing Russia or they're playing Barcelona, and he came from that, but he still wanted to come to America, wants to go to college, very interesting guy, getting stronger, nice to talk to before. But what can most foreign players do? Hit threes. That's what he did.
Yep. 38% from downtown, as I mentioned, 6'7". This is Kai Gray, the junior, transfer from Coolidge High School in D.C. Head coach Hernandez calls him a true floor general, and you need one of those on a team that doesn't have as much size as Georgetown Prep does.
Coolidge coach and Karan's supposed to. And look, they were higher. Number one was supposed to be out, but he's dressed and going to try to play. That makes Kai Gray more important. But there's another three.
One catch and shoot, no good. Rebound, Kai Gray.
So they're 5 and 4 men. Both are shooting threes.
Gray coast to coast, midi, short. And there's Morton on the board. Gets the ricochet, uses his body, can't get the righty roll, and a third opportunity coming up for Bethel. That's Karan Perez.
So you got to make that. When you get those offensive rebounds and kick them out, you got to make those when you're wide open.
Sinan Wan pushing pace, coast to coast, knocked it out of his hands, and that's going the other way. Good defensive hands by Kai Gray.
Really quick on Coach Hernandez. Overbrook, a very famous Philadelphia school. It is where Will Chamberlain went to school. They went to North Carolina A&T. Great program that's in the CAA. Then he coached at Wilson for like 17 years. Now it's Reed. And then he coached at McNamara for 2 years. So he absolutely knows what he's doing. But he said this is like a building. This is going to be a whole situation in Manassas. They built a school. It's in their second year. They got a great middle school. And basketball is a big part of their plan.
Quick early sub for the Hoyas. Cole Pierre-Lewis and Beckham Hedequist into the game real early here. Less than 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Showcasing their depth. Still a 5-2 lead, though. Let's talk about Uzziah Morton, number 35 for Bethel. He's 6'9". He's listed at 310. Comes from South Carolina. You would think, based off of his size, that he's a little raw inside, but no, he's got a soft touch, and he's going to battle his way for the boards, and he's going to catch and shoot a three right here and knock it down, so we can do that, too.
I mean, that's Ryan Randall. That's a big guy that plays inside that learned to shoot threes. And he's only a junior, but remember, only one senior on Bethel. It's a great story because he's getting into shape. And that's what Coach Hernandez talks about. They're living together. They're all around each other.
There's inside out. Yalcin again. 2 for 2 from downtown. Same spot. Same spot. The junior from Turkey getting his team out to an 8-5 lead early here. Gray, Morton. 2-man game. Nice give and go.
Nice touch.
There's really not much you can do against the 310-pound guy inside.
No, man. What's good is he caught it first. You know, that was a bounce pass, caught it. took his time and scored inside.
Here's Juan. This is the battle. Juan against Morton, and advantage Juan on this one. He's going back to the line. Let's take a look at the last two buckets for Bethel. Josiah Morton, 6'9", 310, but can shoot from outside. And then you got the floor general. You got Devin Totley, the transfer from St. John's, who does it all.
You can't have your hand down anymore and catch it. This is the part that I was impressed with. Takes his time, finishes around the rim. That's where his bread and butter is going to be for him in the long run.
Also an improved defender, according to Coach Hernandez.
He can't foul out. I'll tell you that. He's got two, because if he fouls out, Bethel's too small.
That's right. Yeah,
so don't pick up his third foul.
He's their hope inside. And more subs coming for the Hoyas. You got Kyle Davis coming back into the game after starting. And you're getting a look at Dylan McGriff, the freshman point guard, 5'11". And Juan's going back to the line. Look at his stats. 18.5 points, almost averaging a double-double. And he's coming off a heck of a game last night when they played against his brother, Sifeng Juan, who plays for St. Andrews Episcopal. It was a win for Georgetown Prep, and Sinan Juan dropped 27 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks. It's a short turnaround, but he can do it.
That's what you have to do to play. Spalding's coming in playing his third game. Gonzaga's coming in here. They played this weekend. They beat Carroll High School. Joey Wooten and O'Connell couldn't come here because they went to Chicago. These are big tournaments to take out of your conference to come here. That's how important this is.
Let's bring in Juliana Morgan, who has more on an injury for Georgetown Prep.
Hey guys, yeah, Gerard Desiree has been working back after a really hard fall that required x-rays and stitches on his chin. Coach Blue told us that Desiree wanted to continue playing in that game and tried to even stay on the floor, but the medical staff couldn't stop the bleeding, so he was a forced pull-out. Georgetown Prep that hoped that he would be back at full strength today, but unfortunately he's not at the capacity. He has a small x-ray in his wrist. It was confirmed this morning, and he will not be in this game.
Great research, Juliana. We appreciate that. Yeah, we were talking to head coach Howard Blue a couple days ago, and he mentioned hard fall that Gerard Desiree took. So, Coach, how does Georgetown Prep overcome the loss of one of their best young guards? Could be this guy.
Five-man.
Yep. Right. Rebound Morton. Totally pushes the pace. Teron Perez inside through contact.
This is a feisty team. Now they're going to start to pick up full court. Yesterday, Paul the Six did this. Davidson Day was as big as I've seen, but Paul the Six picked up full court. Then they had a zone press. They doubled everything. They used their quickness. That's what Bethel has to do today.
Juan for Dylan McGriff, who's just into the game. Kyle Davis takes baseline. Yalcin. 2-dribble pull-up is no good. Rebound Bethel.
And Georgetown Prep has a big roster. I just liked hearing that Jared Desiree wanted to come back in, wanted to play. Sorry, stitches in an x-ray. That's a serious fall.
3 for Cam Prosper is up no good. Rebound totally. More second chance opportunities for Bethel. Third chance rejected by Sinan Juan. Totally midi, no. Yalcin can't pull down the rebound, and this is just tenacious offense by Bethel.
Yeah, it's just they're working hard and doing the dirty work, but they haven't made. Usually when you get 2 and 3 shots, that's twice they've had good kickouts that they haven't made. So they don't count on that in the long run.
Sinan Juan, again, this is the battle. Juan against Morton. Juan's going to pull it out. A lefty midi is money.
That's why he's going to Purdue, one of the top 5 teams in the country. When you can pull like that, and he has 2 blocks already.
Yeah, guess who's getting ready to check in? The other 7-footer for Georgetown Prep, Majaka Ewik. So they've got size to spare here for the Hoyas from North Bethesda. Devin Totley's going to take another midi and hit this one. Tie game again.
Remember, he's in St. John's, who, by the way, was here yesterday and won as well. They won a tough game over Clinton Grace. These are all good games, and that's kind of what I was talking about. Like these, for Sinan to come here and play in this game as opposed to when he's playing in the IAC, this is kind of a special game, and that's why they're playing extra games. But you know what? This makes him better.
Tonight on Monumental Sports Network 2, the Whiz Kids take the show on the road against the Phoenix Suns to begin a series of games out west. 4 games till they come back next week. Pre-game live begins at 7:30 p.m. to get you ready for tip-off at 8 p.m. All on Monumental Sports Network 2. Yeah, we're talking about Sinan Juan. Coach, here's a fun fact about Sinan Juan. He starred at the FIBA U19 World Cup this summer. He averaged 5 blocks a game in just 25 minutes a game. Now, that number, 5 blocks a game, is second all-time in U19 World Cup history behind only Victor Wembanyama in 2021.
The Avatar, who beat the Celtics last night 100-95.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
My assistants, former players' assistant at the Spurs, I watch they get home. I have no life, so you just watch basketball with the Chihuahua. Well, this is what happens. Victor has set the stage after Tony Parker was the first one from France. Well, we've seen the kids from Sudan and Cameroon. It's all becoming global. And they're having a big tournament next year in Abu Dhabi. 8 teams are going. The NBA is. And it's great for everyone because you know what? if you have a skill like shot blocking, that can get you to one level. But Sanon's made himself into a complete player.
Absolutely. And the other 7-footer is in for prep now. Ayuk, he's down low. Kyle Davis needs to kick it out. There's Cole Pierre-Lewis. His first shot of the game is a cash triple.
See, inside-out offense. Get it in. Now, they're still playing man-to-man. Georgetown prep. They're not going to play any zone.
Subs for Bethel as well. We got Drew Vire on the ball right now.
He wasn't supposed to play today.
That's right, yeah. A lot of moving pieces here. That's Colby Murphy who got in, rejected. Looks like it's going to be a foul, though, on Cole Pierre-Lewis.
I like Cole Pierre-Lewis. Came in, hit a 3. Takes a good, it could have went either way. But we love our referees. Yesterday,
Yes.
Ty was there, man. This crew does all the big games. They do all the big, the WCAC championship, the IAC championship. Mark Stern leaves no detail uncovered in running Capital Hoops. Unbelievable job.
Shout out Mark Stern. I'm going to do a shameless plug here. He appeared on the Off the Bench podcast with Bijan Todd and Chase Hughes earlier this week.
I was very happy to be on that one time. It's
Absolutely.
a lovely podcast.
He came on, he hyped up this event, and it really is a historic event, Coach. You and I have been doing it for a few years. The level of talent you see here is pretty unreal. It was Nate Ament last year, Jordan Smith Jr. this year, Sanan Wan, for example. The crucible of basketball talent in the DMV.
And girls, too.
And girls. Ivana Wilson-Manyaka.
And Max Matters got a really good coach team. I said with the coach yesterday. Let me tell you this. Friday Abernathy and Zach Leonsis and all the people at Monumental, it means a huge deal to all these coaches, parents, and players I talk to. Not many cities have a day like this where all levels of play and all different conferences. Shout out to Monumental and them because the coaches love it.
Absolutely. Quick turnover there. That was Evan Edwards, who traveled at the top of the key. He was guarded by Gavin Robnett, who's in the game for Bethel, the sophomore forward, 6'8". We'll talk more about him later, especially about his social media presence. And he's got quite a following.
More than you? No.
Oh, he has about 40 times as much as me, yes. 20 seconds to go. Bethel can hold for the last shot. It's with Kai Gray at the logo.
One shoot away, you can still get a tipped rebound, but they don't have enough time to go down the other end.
Guarded by Hedequist. Great baseline.
Good pass.
Kick out. Iyer got it to go, and that will end the first quarter. How about Drew Vire getting his name on the stat sheet? Top 5 point guard in the DMV from the junior class. Ends the quarter on a high note.
Kai Gray, see, St. John's moves over because really good program.
Really good
knows how to play. Knows how to play. Doesn't force it. And then I love the shot fake 3 with the floater.
Let's check in again with Juliana Morgan. Hello, Juliana.
Hey guys, yeah, one of the biggest storylines here is about Sinan Juan, the 7'1" Purdue commit who plays for Georgetown Prep and is a cornerstone for that team. He's here on the Joe Tsai Scholarship, funded by the Nets owner, which supports international student athletes who excel academically and athletically. The mission is currently attending St. Andrew's Episcopal, and Coach Blue told us that Sinan chose Georgetown Prep specifically because of the school's academic rigor. His brother is now following a similar path at St. Andrews, like I said, and it's going to be a really good time seeing his brother come up as well.
And Juliana, they played against each other last night. Georgetown Prep against St. Andrew's Episcopal, as I mentioned, 27 points for Sinan. His brother Sifeng finished with 13 points and 3 boards, and they come from a basketball family too, Coach. Their mother, Chen Ching Ma, was a member of the Chinese national team, played at the '96 Olympics.
I took a team to China in 2003, MAC team. We went 7-0. It was very difficult.
Not to brag, but we did go 7-0.
No. Used to be. No, I was going to say it's used to American. This is before. This is in 2003. They're building the nest. They're getting ready for the Olympics. What I was going to say was every game was tough. Back then, the USA used to go over there and roll over the foreign teams. No, that was the first time. China, they were bigger than I thought they were. Better. We had Beijing, Shanghai, but they loved the game. But that was, it's a long time ago because they had the Olympics. This is Bethel team. I told you they're going to be ready to play, Bethel.
That was a Colby Murphy catch and shoot 3. The third leading scorer on the team, puts up 15 a game. That was a nice shot from the corner.
And this was in Yao Ming. The thing about the Chinese basketball is that they're bigger than you think, but they also are getting better. But they're now sending guys to America. And what I like about him is he said he wanted academics. I just don't know why he didn't go to Yale, because that's where Joe Tsai went. He got the Joe Tsai scholarship. Why didn't he go to our Under Armour Yale school?
Under Armour, you always have a chance to shout out Under Armour when you get a chance.
We have a lot of schools out here, but you know what? Joe Tsai, that's an amazing thing, the owner of the Nets, to do that, to bring different people over, you know?
Absolutely.
And yet he lands at Purdue. In other words, no one thought he was going to be that good. Now he's going to play for Matt Painter. And Zach Edey, who I knew when he was from Canada, that no one knew who he was when he was 15 before he went to IMG. Matt Painter sees this. I think he's just advanced faster than people thought. He's gotten better faster.
Tearing it up for the Grizzlies, that's right. Kyle Davis, kick out. Bruiser Edwards has 8 to shoot. Good defense by Devin Toadley. Davis, turnaround, no. Rebound Toadley.
Tough shot.
17-14 lead. Bethel on top. 5-8 this season, coming off of 3 straight losses, Bethel is, but all those losses by 10 or fewer points. So they got a chance to have some fourth quarter execution, but that's not going to help. That turnover by Colby Murphy, he walked.
Devin Toadley is really the one. And I'm glad Kai Gray's in there playing and seeing Karan back out for Bethel, but Devin Toadley kind of makes the pace go for them. And the coach said, we're not going to play as fast as we usually do because we're not sure we can. That's why I was really good talking to Coach Nash. I didn't know he'd been all those places, you know. When you come from Philly, look at that.
Up top to one, he couldn't finish the slam. That would have been electric. Howard Blue wants a foul, nothing coming. Prosper up ahead. Robnet needs to stay in bounds. That's another travel, unfortunate play.
You know, I hear the coaches yelling that's a foul. I'll tell you where that's not a foul next year if we're doing the Big Ten. You got to finish.
Yep.
Good play. You got to finish. I mean, maybe hit him a little, but you got to finish.
Really good toss, I have to say, by Yalcine to get it up there. 17-14, 6:30 to go, second quarter. Game 3 of Basketball Day in the DMV, Part 2. Bijan Todd alongside Jimmy Patsos on Monumental Sports Network. And a tough pass and a turnover there by Rafa Monaro, who's in the game for the Hoyas. Kick out corner. That's Iyer. He's short on his 3.
See, last time he shot fake and floater, I would have done that again.
Howard Blue imploring his team to move the ball, and they are working it around the key. They're trying to feed Juan. He's got it in the post. Guarded by Joe McCarthy. The foul, is that a continuation? Let's see what the officials rule here. Looks like it's going to be baseline out.
College, that would now be good. You know, it's always been good in the NBA. College has picked up the continuation, Bijan. I'm sorry about you, Wake Forest team and Deacons. I know you're trying to get
too soon. Too soon. Hey, they'll get there one day. Not this year, though, unfortunately.
So yesterday, Coach Weaver was here, who's the assistant who played at Wake Forest. Great guy. He was at Davidson Day. He played for Skip Ross. We were talking about how great all the players. And remember, he's not from here. He came up and he walked around DeMatha. And he just couldn't believe, you know, whether it's the Hall of Fame or the pitchers or everything, you know, because, you know, Joel Coliseum, Carolina, Duke, NC State, Wake Forest right there with him. He played with Chris Paul. And he just was, that's what this day does. And that's what walking in the halls of DeMatha does.
That's right. Historic university here. Yalcine, quick midi off the elbow. That was rebounded by Gavin Robnet, who's in the game for the Blazers.
This is what Coach Hernandez said. He said, sometimes we're going to play fast. Right now, Devin Toadley is like creating the pace for Bethel.
Crossover, Toadley, nice penetration. Rejected, though, inside. I believe that was Juan. Looks like a foul on the floor, though.
I didn't understand that call. I thought maybe he blocked it out of bounds.
It was a block, yeah. It looked rather clean.
He called him. His foot was on the line.
Juan averages 2.7 blocks a game, obviously leads the Hoyas. 4-star recruit, number 79 player in the nation, as we mentioned, headed to Purdue next year.
And then when Roy Hibbert went to Georgetown Prep, I couldn't believe how big he was.
That's a good pull right there, former Indiana Pacer. Iyer. The drive and another whistle. A lot of whistles here in the last 30 seconds. Quick note about Gavin Robnet, I talked to it earlier. Number 7 for Bethel in red. Has 17,000 Instagram followers. Coach, his bio on Instagram says, I'm a 16-year-old basketball phenom, a future pro. Follow my journey to greatness. So he's not short on confidence.
That is not short on confidence. I just want to go to a really good school and have fun playing college basketball. Nice.
Yeah, I've seen coast to coast, got bumped, no call, and then a foul on the floor against Prep. Going the other way.
See? Coach is ready. Don't try to make contact. Just go make the shot. He was trying to get the and one. And that's what you pick up. That's why he came here to be coached.
More subs for both teams. Uzziah Morton coming back in for Bethel, and that's the battle to watch down low. The 6'9", 310 junior Morton in red, and the 7'1", senior for Georgetown Prep's on one in blue. Quick three, up and good. Drew Vyers now 2 for 2 from the field.
Yes, and let me tell you something. Him coming in and getting some points really was a nice surprise for him. Didn't think he was going to play.
Juan trying to pick things back up for the Hoyas, and he turns it over as Iyer has quick hands. It's a 2-on-1 developing. Iyer, Euro step. Oh, that's beautiful.
They call timeout if you Georgetown Prep. It's like an 11-0 run.
Yeah, going back to the first quarter, 11-0, as you mentioned, Coach. Georgetown Prep, and that's another turnover.
They call timeout. Because everybody's strazzled right there.
Let's take a look at Drew Vyers' drive. The junior guard, 6 feet nothing. Top 5 point guard from the junior class in the DMV area. He's crafty. He can play at all 3 levels, and that was some nice footwork to get the bucket. And a quick timeout by Georgetown Prep and Howard Blue. Coach, what can they do to overcome this quick run that Bethel's had since the end of the first quarter?
Start scoring.
That helps.
They have to start scoring, period. Whether it's finishing around the rim, making the three. They had 2 threes early in the corner. What I don't like, Bijan, is at their size, they need to go inside, then go outside.
For more on Bethel, back to Juliana Morgan.
Hey guys, yeah, one of the coolest things about this matchup is how differently the teams spend their day. Bethel Academy calls itself a true sports academy, and their players start with basketball, hit academics in like a college-style setting, and then are back in the gym. It's all about skills on and off the court, but Georgetown Prep does it super differently. They focus on a full school day first with rigorous academics. They have those Jesuit principles, and the basketball comes after school like a normal school program. When I spoke to Coach Howard Blue, he told us that Sinan specifically chose Prep because he wanted to a tougher, higher academic path, and that's exactly what he's getting.
Thank you very much, Juliana. We appreciate it. Yeah, 2 different styles of education for both these teams, but here's a stat that just came across our desk, Coach. We were talking about Georgetown Prep's depth, but how about Bethel? They got an 11-0 lead in terms of bench scoring thus far.
And we thought Georgetown Prep was bigger and they had more depth, but there's another 3 from the big guy. Now if that one went,
we would all been out of here.
Suicide. I'll tell you what.
Looking inside for Juan.
That's why you play the games, Bijan.
And now they're doubling him. That's right. Hedquist, Juan. Now they're working it around. Georgetown Prep trying to stop the bleeding.
See, I like this. Go on
head fake, and he finishes with the left hand. Caution tapes it on Juan.
Yes, that's unbelievable. That was getting finished. I didn't think he was going to dunk it like that. Coach Howard Blue was in here in huddle saying, let's attack the basket. Let's get to the paint. And my point is, Bijan, is that's why you play him. And I'm not joking about your Wake Forest. You can't be looking at, no, I'm serious. You can't be fixated on like what Carolina and Duke does all the time. If you're Georgetown Prep, you go crazy looking at the math and these other things. Howard Blue's like, let's just do what we do. He just said that in the huddle. We got to go and finish her at the rim.
Ariane Bhaskar, number 3, is in the game for the Hoyas, and head coach Howard Blue told us unless there was an injury, he likely wasn't going to play. But lo and behold, there was an injury, as Juliana mentioned earlier, to Gerard Desiree. So there he is, as Bruiser Edwards, earning that nickname with the layup.
By why? Going to the rim in the paint. And I was being serious about that. Like Chris Paul all of a sudden changed everything because you have to prove you can play with everybody, but you got to get in the paint. And that's where games change. And Bethel did that good early, but now Georgetown Prep, oh, that's a nice play right there. You got to finish quick, though.
Great pass from Morton to Joe McCarthy, who's too strong on the finish.
You got to catch that and lay it in right away. Georgetown Prep's too late. Here they go again. We'll see if they get the ball to the paint again.
You know they're just trying to feed Juan on every possession. You can tell when they have it on the outside of the key. Edwards, that's a long 2, and it's good.
Take it.
And so they have cut into this lead. Now just a 2-point advantage for Bethel.
It's funny because this was just like the women's game before. St. Francis hit some threes. It was Bulls called a timeout. They were down 7. I turned around. They were up 7. All their points came either on the break or in the paint. That's a tough shot.
Yeah, and he rolls it in. Friendly shooter's roll for Devin Totley.
Devin strong.
Veteran on this team, as we mentioned, transfer from St. John's. Leading scorer on the team, the lone senior on their roster. Number 3 ranked player in D.C. As Sinan Juan buries a triple. He can do it everywhere.
So they go inside twice, then they get a pull-up 2, and now a 3. So inside, mid-range 3. That's the sequence Howard Blue is looking for. As coaches, we all want that. We love the threes, but let's go inside first. Now they've taken the lead.
Drew Vyer for the Blazers. That's a spot-up triple, too strong. Colby Murphy's just going to take it himself in and out. And Kyle Davis pulls it down.
The one little flaw Georgetown Prep's had so far. They're not cleaning up the defensive glass for a team as big as they are. Now, Bethel hasn't capitalized on offensive rebounds, but that usually comes back to haunt you.
Georgetown Prep's cut it to 1. Can they take the lead on this possession? Edwards has 14.
Good defense, doesn't get beat off the dribble.
Bruiser, good defense, but foul called on Colby Murphy. That was really good defense for about 5 seconds until the foul was called. Let's go back to Sinan Juan's buckets. He had that thunderous left-handed dunk and followed it up with a nice dribble in the corner. This is just such silky footwork right here.
How many dribbles you take?
One. That's the Giannis Antetokounmpo method. And here's the three as well. He can shoot it from the outside. And Morton, you could tell, was trying to put a hand in his face, but also was wary of the jab step. There's really not much you can do against a 7-footer, averaging 18.5 points a game. And he saved that one from being a backcourt violation.
Our stats guy is unbelievable. He's giving me all these stats hit by hit. Yeah, A+ for you.
Shout out to all the men and women in our wonderful Monumental Sports Network crew as Juan turns it over. Here's Kai Gray through contact, and it's going the other way. Nice charge taken by Bruiser Edwards, putting his body on the line.
Bruiser Edwards ran to the spot. He didn't back up. He ran to the spot and then gets his feet set. And it's hard to take a charge these days. Now, there's no circle like that. Watch, he sprints to the spot, and then he gets set. You can't do it any better. That should be a video of how to take a charge.
Howard Blue called him an all-star point guard. He had 19 points yesterday against St. Andrews Episcopal. Efficient shooting, too. 6 of 11 from the field. Does it on both ends. The junior 6-foot guard. Taking down to 1 minute remaining in the first half. Really good game on our hands. Bijan Todd and Jimmy Patsos between Georgetown Prep and Bethel. Juan in the dunker spot. That's an open three, up and no good. Beckham Hedquist in the game for Georgetown Prep. Couldn't finish that one.
I like how Juan turned, located his target, fired it quickly, then they made the hockey pass.
Great. How about that finish? That was unreal athleticism, hanging in the air, and got the roll as well. Extending the lead for the Blazers. Now, Kai Gray, we heard from Coach Angelo Hernandez, loves to get out and play fast, and boy, that first step was lethal. And by the way, he did finish this play over a 7'1" center.
That is going hard to the basket. And this, look, I had Bethel last year because I remember them. We had one game. They were a brand new team in a different tournament. And I was surprised because I knew who Toby was. Kai Gray, these guys are driving an hour to school, by the way. He's in D.C. He's driving down to go to Manassas.
That's right.
And he's only a junior, and MJ and Coach Hernandez were telling me, like, this is the beginning of this. This isn't like a one-hit wonder. They're here for the long term. They have a nice academy, a building.
Hedquist, 3 no good. That's out of bounds, and it's going in favor of Bethel, who can extend this 4-point lead.
But when you get guys from D.C. and when you get guys that can finish at the rim, no matter what size they are, but Devin Tolley is making Kai Gray a better player. This is a feisty little backcourt they have.
Yeah, we talked about it, and Coach Angelo Hernandez told us that on the coaches' call this week. He said, watch out for Kai and Devin when they get out in transition. They like to play fast, and that unlocks our entire offense, and that's been proven right here in the first half, which has 13 seconds remaining. Let's see if Bethel can extend the lead. Karan Perez.
He's getting looked at by some Division I teams. He just went a little fast there.
Yeah, carried it there, unfortunately. 6'2" guard from Phoenix. Made the trek east to play with this Bethel team. Coach Hernandez calls him the best defender on the team, but he's pretty silky with it on offense as well.
Yeah, he's had like Conference USA's and Tulane. A few teams. Look at this. They're going to finish this at the
10.5. Bruiser Edwards drew a foul. Really heads-up play, getting that whistle before the half ran out.
And he picks up his 3rd foul. See, I only give him 2. I thought he had 3, but that's good. Sometimes you take your big out of that situation. I also like running back and playing zone. Just the players know where to go with 5 seconds. And believe me, nobody made more coaching mistakes than me. But sometimes with like 5 seconds left, just run back and play 2-3. That's right. You'll give up a jumper, but you won't get the ball all the way to the rim.
Edwards can cut this to a 2-point lead for the Hoyas, or rather a 2-point deficit for the Hoyas. Bethel's bench has been holding it down here in the first half. And he does. 2-point lead, 1.4 remaining. Let's see what Bethel can do with it. It's Gray. Did not get that off in time, but a really solid first half for Be The One Academy, as they say. The Bethel Blazers get out to a quick 2-point lead. And, Coach, their bench was holding it down. What did you notice there in the first half?
I think Bethel's more feisty than we thought. I think Georgetown Prep's got to go inside, even though they made some threes. They've got 4 threes from their 4 and 5 big man, but it's, once again, another game in this tournament that's close. Because guys are so fired up to play on TV. To understand how important that is for these players. They're not giving an inch.
Yeah, I got a feeling this one's going to come down to the wire just like the 2 previous games. And not much you can do about Sinan Juan. Obviously, keep an eye on him heading into the second half. He's been holding it down for the Hoyas inside. And Juliana Morgan is ready with head coach Angelo Hernandez for Bethel.
Coach, this is a very physical and fast-paced game. What are you going to stress headed into this next half to really settle this win?
We just got to be patient. We're getting what we want. We're getting the shots we want. They're just not falling. The lid is on the rim for some reason, but I think it's going to let up in the second half. We started to come along in the second half. We got to do better defensively of coming up and stopping these dribble drives from the kickouts, but I think we're doing a good job. I think we're limiting them at the rim, limiting the big fella to do what he does, but I think we're doing a good job. So we're going to just continue to be physical, continue to be at our spots, and continue to take the shots they're giving us.
Thank you so much, Coach. Have a good one. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Juliana. Thank you, Coach. A really good contest on our hands for Game 3 of Day 2 of Basketball Day in the DMV, presented by Ticketmaster. Bethel's bench has been holding it down, but not much you can do about Sanan Wan. Keep an eye on him in the second half. 2-point lead for Bethel. Coming back on Monumental Sports Network. Well, Basketball Day in the DMV has not disappointed thus far. We had some electric matchups yesterday. Frank Siakabe for Fairfax Christian getting the win over Friendship Tech Prep. Really nice outing for him. And then St. John's, behind head coach, or rather Jaimin Vini's performance, I should say, took down Clinton Grace by 7. Jaimin Vini put up 23 off 10 of 14 shooting in that game. And then the marquee matchup was Jordan Smith Jr. against Davidson Day. The number 3 player in the entire class put up 34 points.
Not an easy win for them.
Oh, no, but he's just unreal. And then we had a really good matchup on the girls' side between Candace Samuels and Bishop McNamara, who took down the visiting Monsignor Scanlon team. That whole family, the Samuels family, just born and bred hoopers. Her and her brother Caden on the boys' side. And then DeMatha had a pretty easy win, I should say, over St. Benedict's from New Jersey. Ashton Meeks, one of the premier guards in the DC class, had 25 points and was the team MVP in that one. Welcome back, everybody, to DeMatha Catholic High School here in Hyattsville, Maryland, alongside my guy, my friend, Coach Jimmy Patsos. I'm Bijan Todd here for Georgetown Prep against Bethel. Coach, we've talked about it many times. The level of talent that comes through the DMV, arguably the best in the country and the world, if I should say so myself. What can you say about the level of talent that we've seen here both yesterday and today already?
Oh, Davidson Day surprised me. You know, they were bigger than I thought. They have 3 guys. They have a sophomore. Hall's going to go wherever he wants in the country. They've got a guy that's going to go to Miami and Creighton and a guy going to Clemson. So they surprised me. But I just love hearing them walk through it. And forget that DeMatha is better this year. Coach Jones II, remember the first Coach Jones at Old Dominion, he's building it his way. They're starting to really rise. Don't be surprised if they challenge Paul VI and McNamara and O'Connell. But the point is this game and this day shows everybody from outside the area how great this area is. Because we know how many pros have played on this court? 100.
Yep, too many to count. And he's not from D.C., but he made D.C. basketball what it is today. Nobody knows this area better than John Wall, D.C.'s point guard. He was in the house yesterday to take in all the DMV Day action. He was here today as well. Let's hear what he had to say to the locker rooms at DMV Day yesterday.
I appreciate the opportunity to talk to y'all. I watch y'all play a little bit throughout the year. I watch you for sure. But most important, like what your coach, your pedigree you have here, the chemistry you have, like what you believe in. I seen the interview yesterday, you were talking about defense. That's how you pride yourself off. But whatever you want to do in life, just give 110% effort. If it's basketball, whatever, everybody don't reach the goal of making it to the league. So whatever you want to be, just give 110% effort. But the most important thing is make sure you get your education. That's going to take you a long way, whatever you want to be in life. I'm just glad to have the opportunity to be here to talk to y'all, to watch y'all play, and I'm excited to be at the tournament.
A major shout out to John Wall. Loved watching him play when I was growing up. And he came here to take in some really good basketball action. Coach, both of these first two games today on Basketball Day in the DMV Day 2 came down to either the last possession or the last minute of regulation. That Good Counsel Riverdale Baptist game was crazy because Good Counsel was up by 19 at one point. Riverdale Baptist had a chance to tie on the last shot. And the Bulls girls, there's not much more you can say about Ivana Wilson-Manyaka. WNBA bound if everything goes her way.
Yeah, she's a lottery pick. We'll see where she goes to school. Probably Southern Cal, Maryland, South Carolina are all in there right now. I happen to know that. I just thought St. Francis came in and played with a lot of courage. Riverdale Baptist came back. It just shows you the level of basketballs at it's not one or two schools, it's 20 schools.
We got a really good game on our hands here. 2-point lead for Bethel over Georgetown Prep. Second half coming up on Monumental Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody, to DeMatha Catholic High School here in Hyattsville, Maryland. Really good game right now between Bethel Academy and Georgetown. Our halftime stats are brought to you by Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster has you covered with a wide selection of seats for every game, even if you're making a last-minute decision. Get your tickets today at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Wizards and the NBA. Really good game, Coach. We mentioned the bench scoring for Bethel. And Georgetown Prep is just going to have to rely on Sinan Wan going forward.
Yeah, some other guys have played well for him, but Sinan's got to sort of carry him. His drive when he gets the dunk and then when he kicks out for a three. In other words, there's ways to get everyone involved. Keon Motoshme, my assistance guy, is the history of GW and AU and all this stuff. Well, he's talking about pros now.
And Juliana Morgan has more with head coach Howard Blue of Georgetown Prep.
Oh, good.
Hey, Coach. So you play a fast break offense with a lot of high tempo energy. Tell me about what your team is doing to keep this game tight.
Right now we're playing pretty good defense, but we're not rebounding. And I think we're a little bit in the daze from our game last night. We're not getting out and running like we want to run, but they show flashes. So I think halftime, hopefully they woke up a little bit. I think these guys are playing really hard on the defensive end. Now we got to turn it into our transition and offense.
Coach, Sinan is so central to your offense, but they've been sharing the rock quite a bit. Tell me what you stress in that locker room to contain that sort of malleability and connectiveness.
Get the ball up the court quick, take advantage of early opportunities. Let's move the ball, and let's make sure we look inside. Man, we have a kid that's pretty close to unstoppable, and he's very unselfish too. So if he's getting the touches he's supposed to get, he won't force the ball, and he'll find people. So everybody can eat.
Great, Coach. Thanks so much. Best of luck out there.
Thanks so much, Juliana and Coach. And Coach Paxos, you got a crystal ball. You said Georgetown needs to run in the first half, and Howard Blue agrees with you.
Howard Blue's a simple guy, knows how to get it done. They get the ball, they go to the paint. Sunan's the one guy they got to get the ball to, but if they're double teaming him, drive it down the lane. That's what I was talking about before. There's so much history in this gym. Well, Georgetown Prep has a lot of history. They don't want to hear just about DeMouth and Gonzaga and Carroll and Paul VI. They've got a lot of great players. But Howard Blue said what the most important thing is. They had a really tough game last night, yet they're here. Like, you got to give them credit for coming back. And this is not a late game. This is, 1 o'clock game. Got to get up, eat early, all that kind of stuff. But Howard Blue said no excuses. What I liked what he said was transition. You got to play fast and you got to go inside. Keep it simple.
Bruiser Edwards knocks down both free throws to tie this game early in the third quarter. And, Coach, to that point, Georgetown Prep, as you mentioned, won by 9 points last night against St. Andrews Episcopal. How do they prepare for a completely new opponent on less than, 16 hours notice?
Because it's not a league game. It doesn't mean as much. By the way, what do you think the emotion was like of two brothers playing against each other? Okay, that wasn't being serious.
Yes, Sifeng Wan of St. Andrews Episcopal finished with 13 points in that loss last night, but Sinan had 27, so not much you can do about that.
No, but I'm just saying there's a lot of emotion in being played, and that's like a rivalry game. But here, you just look at this as a great opportunity. That's a little dead ball set action right there. He missed the slip guy.
Wan going up against Uzziah Morton, 6'9", 310.
I heard, did you hear Howard Blue said that Sinan is an unselfish player? I've noticed he set some great passes out. You got to make that. Here it is.
And Bruiser Edwards has the first 4 points of the Hoyas to get them on top here earlier in the third.
I like Edwards. He drove it to the lane, and there he just pulled up. You got to make that. When they both go with the roll guy with Sinan, just pull up and take the mid-ranger.
Yeah, Bruiser and Sinan are a great pick-and-roll threat. Reminiscent of a guy who we saw earlier today, John Wall and Marcin Gortat. That's a pretty big compliment. I like to see. You like that one?
I love that. I get the big look there. They won a lot. That's why we like them. Winning does matter.
Oh, yes, it does. Inside, Devin Tolley, the vet, finishes over Wan.
Devin Tolley. I remember I knew I had these guys last year. And he's from D.C. He lives right near the old RFK. That's where he lives, because that's a long commute to Manassas. Well, the St. John's toughness and the D.C. toughness, that's what he's just willing his team to stay in this game.
Wan taking it right in on Morton, and a foul. He'll go to the line. Yeah, Devin Tolley, the lone senior on this Bethel team. Just 6 feet tall, but crafty scorer.
Gary Stein with the call right there. Legendary Gary Stein. He's done all high school games. Him and Jackie Loeb. They've done so many championships. That's why we love this, because we see all our friends that still love basketball.
That's Coach Jimmy Paxos, who, I don't know if you could tell, folks, knows everyone. I'm Bijan Todd. I only know a few people, but I know Sinan Wan, and he just hit the first free throw. Coach, if you're Angelo Hernandez for Bethel, you have the inside presence of Uzziah Morton, who can put a body on Sinan Wan. He could get into foul trouble here. He already has 2. If he does get that 4th foul later in the game, where do you go? What's your plan B?
This game is 4th foul. We knew they missed one in the first half.
That was his 4th foul. There you go, yeah.
Well, they just changed on the board. Our stats guy, they should have said, don't give the big guy fouls. We want to make it more interesting. What do? I press. Because I sit him in the back, right under the basket, and the other 4 guys are either trapping or trying to intercept. Trappers are intercept. I press more, and he has that in his arsenal. He just wanted to save it for the second half.
Kai Gray stripped by Beckham Hedequist. Really nice play there by the sophomore guard. In the corner, Bruiser, in and out.
Good luck.
Good board by Uzziah Morton.
Howard Lucy, he doesn't say a word. He said, good shot. I'm sitting right here. He threw it up the sideline.
But now, if you're Uzziah Morton, Coach, do you play a little bit more conservatively because you don't want to get that 5th foul? Do you have to lay off Sinan Wan a little bit? Bruiser Edwards hangs in the air and gets the nice finish.
Bruiser Edwards, a lot of guys on his team went to Region 1 last year, including Loyola, a friend from Australia. So lots of different players have stepped up. I am really impressed with Edwards. He's better than I thought in person. I knew he's a good player, but he's under control, knows how to finish, good leader. I really like his game.
Kai Gray with a really nice drive there, draws the foul on Sinan Wan. Cole Pierre-Louis is going to check back in here for the Little Hoyas. He's coming in for Beckham Hedequist, or rather Kyle Davis, the junior wing. By the way, Kyle Davis, who's coming off the floor right now for Georgetown Prep, a high-level football player. He plays outside linebacker, tight end, and defensive end. What more do you want? All conference nod. He ran a 4.7 40. So the athleticism for this Georgetown prep team is not hard to notice.
Well, I used to love football guys that played. See, you got to kind of. Oh, so they didn't give them a shot. They were going to shoot free throws, and they put them out of bounds. Love two-sport guys. I always love guys play more sports. Don't play one sport. Doesn't it get boring all year?
All-state linebackers you can see on your screen there. Another shout-out to our wonderful men and women. Producer Jack Hockman for this game. Georgetown Prep against Bethel on Monumental Sports Network. And Morgan keeps the play alive. Down low, Cam Prosper. Prospering down low for a layup.
John, there's that education in Salem. Look, that was a big play. That could have gone to 6 or 7 instead of 2 on just straight hustle from Bethel. They just working hard. They can't foul here.
Yeah, Juan trying to do it all himself. Not going to get the foul call there. Georgetown Prep doesn't like it. Let's take a look at the Bethel starters, Coach. And, you know, Georgetown Prep, we talked about all their guys come from different countries. For Bethel, a lot of them come from different schools. But they all come here, they congregate to Bethel, and they're making it work.
Yeah, Coach Hernandez. Look, Rodney Pryor's a school dean. Like I said, they have a middle school. This is about a project that's going full force, like Good Counsel going to the suburbs, like Paul VI. You got to go out to the suburbs because DC's getting so crowded. But the kids want to play. The young men want to play. They see an opportunity to play. Hernandez knows them all. This guy's been around a long time. And yet, and then, you know what? He's right, because here they are on TV.
Juan got the block on Totally on the other end, but then Totally steals it right back, and this is with Karan Perez. Perez taking it right into the lane through contact and one.
That's why Tulane's looking at him in conference. The UAA conference. Look, the American conference is looking at him. That's where Memphis is, Tulane. You know why? Someone on Georgetown Prep has to say, watch out.
They put 3 bodies on Sunan Juan, got the steal in the end one.
I mean, who's ever guarding me, if my guy goes, I might say, Sunan, watch out. Pass it to me, because we already know he's a willing passer.
Foul on Dylan McGriff, the freshman, 5'11". Karan Perez for Be The One Academy, as they say. We mentioned he made the trek east from Arizona. He went to Williams Field High School out there, out west. He's a real knockdown shooter. Best defender on the team, according to Angelo Hernandez.
Yeah, so he's a good defender. See, I just don't. I want to go back to what. See, they probably tried to text him and say, watch out, he's coming, but it didn't quite go through yet.
The technology isn't quite there yet. Juan at the top of the key. Taking it right in on Joe McCarthy. Can't get to roll the foul, and it's and one for Cole Pierre-Lewis.
I like this Cole Pierre-Lewis. He's kind of been in and out. Isn't as many minutes. He hit a 3. He plays good defense. That's a big offensive rebound score right there.
Big board. Sophomore forward, 6'6". One of 3 sophomores on this Georgetown Prep team to get heavy minutes. It's him, Majaka Ewik from South Sudan, and Beckham Hedequist, who's also in the game right now.
He's got a big upside, and I didn't know he was a sophomore. I thought he was a junior, so I apologize. I was doing my little homework on certain guys. I love when I watch guys and they're better than I think they are. He's much better than I thought. He wasn't a little bit of a role player. He's got really high ceiling.
Yeah, how about this lineup right now for Prep? 3 sophomores, a junior, and a freshman. Most senior player on the team right now is Kyle Davis, number 0, the junior, 6'6". Now then, Kai Gray rejected by a Ewik. Taking out the trash down low. Here comes McGriff. Knocked out.
It's a high-level game. That's a big block.
Majaka Ewik.
I like the block. No
7'1" from South Sudan. Oh, man, he got up there for that. Was that maybe a goal? Was it on its way down?
I preferred the better play. We don't need to see any more goaltending. I like to see blocks.
And for more on Majaka Ewik's fascinating story, we go back to Juliana Morgan.
Hey, guys. Yeah, Majaka Gek has one of the most remarkable stories on this Georgetown Prep roster. He came to the U.S. from South Sudan through Kenya and started just last spring. He started learning English for the first time, which is just remarkable, on top of already speaking 3 languages. When we spoke to Coach Blue, he told us that Majak's growth this season reflects his adaptability, his intelligence, and of course his relentless work ethic to be here today. On the court, he's steadily becoming a key contributor for this team, making plays on both ends and showing maturity beyond his years. It's a young athlete breaking through what is incomprehensible challenges. He's adjusting quickly, and he's helping this team compete at the highest level.
Thanks so much, Juliana. And you're seeing that Epcot lineup for Georgetown Prep. Yeah, that's insane that he didn't know English until last year. He's learning it as he goes. But the beautiful thing about basketball is that you don't need to know one language in order to play. It's the international language.
All right, if anybody's listening, I don't think they know what's going on. I'm not a political guy, but what's going on in Sudan is not good. I had 2 brothers that came here 2 years ago. They haven't been back. They're up in Frederick. And the community taking them in, and then a chance to go to Georgetown Prep, one opportunity, but like he probably doesn't get to go home and see his family. Sometimes people don't absorb that piece. I'm like, this isn't going back to London. Like, there's a real situation here, and these young men are coming over, leaving their family, not just to play basketball, to get education, so they can go back and help their people. That is an unbelievable story. I'd love to hear. I bet you if you looked at the intricacies of his story, what a journey. And to land here, what a great ending.
Yeah, not to be ignored, the remarkable story of Majaka Ewing, and that's an offensive foul. They got Kyle Davis on the drive. Good defense by Kai Gray, putting his body on the line.
Yeah, just the same way before. The Georgetown President coach, he's not mad at the officials. He's mad. You got to look. There's two guys there. Just jump stop. That's a big J right thing. Now, here's Georgetown Prep with the 1-2-2 press. They're not going to. We'll see if they trap right over. Usually you trap over right there.
They try to get him in the coffin corner. Down low. Colby Murphy, whistle and a foul, I believe, before the shot.
This is my thing, John, after watching almost it's halfway through the third quarter. The little things and the little loose balls that Bethel has got has kept him in this game. Every time there's a chance to go Georgetown Prep's way, let alone they took the lead early, all little hustle plays seem to have gone more Bethel's way.
Yeah, head coach Angelo Hernandez told us this week they got a very physical defensive team. They enjoy contact, and you could tell with that charge from Kai Davis. They do not shy away from going up against the big boys like Sinan Wan and Majaka Ewing, who are both in the game right now for Prep.
Now that's what I want to see when the two.
Yeah, Howard Blue not happy with the foul calls. But yeah, how about this? How often do you see two 7'1" players on the floor at the same time for the same school?
And yesterday we had the 6'10", 6'11" guy out there for David. I told you Davidson did surprise me. Legit 7-footers, both shot blockers. I haven't seen that.
And Uzziah Morton's off the floor for Bethel, so there's a real size difference out on the court right now. Here's one of the 7-footers of Ewing. Down low to the other, Sinan Wan.
They have to go double team earlier than that if you're Bethel. I mean, once he puts it on the floor, I didn't double team until he put the ball on Gary Williams. Once the ball hits the floor, if you're doubling, it's an all-out assault. Starts making moves down there. He's too crafty. His footwork's great. So now his footwork, from what I've seen from last year, now his footwork's improved. But as you said, Bijan, he's playing on the Chinese national team. Like, he's not the best player on his team. He's practicing with guys above. He's clearly getting better.
Really unusual fluidity for someone of that size, especially at this age.
See, fluidity. There's that Wake Forest. God love you.
He's adjusted to the brutal athleticism of the DMV area, too, because in China they don't play as physically as they do here. And then you got guys from the DMV who are gritty dudes who want to get into the body, who want to get in the paint. He's adjusted to that and done really well.
Yeah, the DMV, there's all kinds of players. There's 6'4" centers that are really good. You know, there's big guards. DMV has every type of player you can imagine. Now, here's where they're going to match up. So they do. Now they're back to a 3-2. That was a 1-2-1-1 kind of run and jump at half court. Now they're going to play zone. You got to get someone to the high post, or you're not going to be able to score against the zone.
Murphy outside. That three is up and good for Karan Perez.
See, high post. They had a card that even though they didn't throw it there. Perez did a great job of running from the foul line, extended all the way to the corner. Game speed, catch and shoot. In other words, when you do drills, if you're young out there, it's game, speed, catch, and shoot when you're using the barrels. He ran all the way down. Very good offense. They got it to the short corner. That's how I used to beat Syracuse's 2-3. Short corner, shooter in the corner, okay? Coach Hernandez, well done.
That's Jimmy Patsos. I'm Bijan Todd. Still a 2-point lead for Bethel Academy, as it was when we went into halftime, but Bruiser Edwards can tie it up here at the line. Now, Coach, we know that Uzziah Morton's in foul trouble. Georgetown Prep has two 7-footers out there right now. How early do you consider putting him back in with those 4 fouls?
Good question. I'm saving him to the 4th for sure. Because, look, if we were down 8, I'd put him in right now. It's time and score. We're doing fine without him if you're Bethel. That's your approach. Like I said, that's a mistake by Bethel. That's their first, and yet off his leg.
Big board by Kyle Davis and a bigger play by Karan Perez stripping Wan.
Oh, you Bijan, you're on it. That's as big a mistake as Bethel's made in a little area, meaning free throw rebounding. Yet they knocked the ball off his leg by being there, just like Paul the Sixth. Now see another loose ball goes their way to a layup.
Down low, and Gavin Robnett couldn't finish.
That was
Bruiser using that body and getting the layup and one. He's going to bruise you too.
It's a tough sequence because there was probably goaltending there. There was probably basket interference at the other end. Bethel turns around and gives up an and one. Watch watch this. I got to see this.
Ewing adjusting that shot on one end.
Got to make the layup.
Bruiser Edwards lowering the shoulder like a running back.
MVP of the third quarter is no question, Mr. Edwards.
Yeah, 5 of 8 from the field. He had an efficient night, as we mentioned last night against St. Andrews Episcopal. 6 of 11 from the field. And he's been to the line a ton tonight. 9 of his 15 points thus far have been in the third quarter.
Yeah, Keon's got it. His 9 points are all in the quarter. Here you go. So now they're not going to trap, and they back up to the zone.
Relaxed defense here, as you mentioned. Totally guarded by Bruiser.
Somebody's got to get to the high post. They're clearing it out.
Totally taking it right in, and a foul. I believe they're going to get Edwards on this one.
They have blown the whistle a little bit more than the other games we had the last 2 days. But the thing about this is, Bijan, this means more to Bethel reputation-wise. Georgetown Prep's long-time standing Division I. Dwayne Bryant, who played for the Hoyas when he was the coach there. They've gone eons and eons with lots of Division I players. Bobby Olson, Father Olson, one of my players from Georgetown Prep, is now a priest. What a competitor. Bethel, this is new. They're not giving an inch. In other words, every little scrappy loose ball. They didn't play last night. They're a little more rested. I kind of feel Howard Blue's point, like, we have everything to lose, but yet he still came, which I think is what's important about this tournament today.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Totally missed both free throws. Yeltsin into the lane for 2.
See, he hit 2 threes early, but now he drove with his right hand. This little 1-2-2 that they're not really trying to steal the ball. It's caused Bethel to have problems running their offense.
Right. Totally. Triple. Too strong. A Ewing. Scrum on the floor. Looks like it's going to be a jump. Yes, it will. His name is Salim Yeltsin. You take one letter out of his first name, it's Slim. And he uses that frame to get inside. How about this drive, Coach?
Bijan, how do you get this stuff? Outstanding. Great promotion.
Well, I had that one in the vault since like the first quarter. I'm just glad I got a chance to use it. 4-point lead for Georgetown Prep. Salim Yeltsin, really good game for him, the junior from Turkey.
Now that Kyle Davis has played, and you tell me about his football acumen, then he walks by me, he looks like a Power 5 football player.
Yeah. All-division linebacker. He does look like that. 6'6", 235, number 0 for Prep. Not on the floor right now. There's Yeltsin again. Can't hit the 3. Rebound pulled down by 1, and he gets the follow. Too tough.
And you know what else is happening? Bethel's not making their free throws. They're 5 of 12 during this game. The zone has worked. The pressure zone that's not really trying to steal the ball. That's a travel.
Yeah, they got Karan Perez on the walk.
But you're going to leave 7, 8, 9 points at the line on free throws. You're not going to win a game against the Georgetown Prep team. Georgetown Prep, another chance to execute here with 53 seconds. You want to shoot? Get a score and a stop. S-squared, score and a stop.
That rebound by Sinan Wan. If this was football, that would have been pass interference because he was getting tugged down on one end. He stretched up that left arm to pull down the board and then put it back up. That was incredible.
Oh, nice pass.
And a foul again. The 2 7-footers linking up for more free throws for the Hoyas. And going to the free throw line is a Ewing. And we mentioned, Coach, free throws hurting Bethel. They're 5 of 12, 42% from the line. Meanwhile, Georgetown Prep, 13 of 16.
That's the difference in the game.
It's an 8-point gap.
They get into the line more, but it's Howard Blue's timeout was good, where he said we're going to, and then in the halftime you heard him. We're getting the ball inside, and we're going to run transition. But the biggest adjustment I made, in my mind that he made, was the zone. The extending the zone pressure to a 1-2-2. Back to the zone. Yeah, Bethel hit a 3 early, but they really haven't scored against it since. But it's slowing. Bethel can't really run any stuff. By the time they get it over, they're just scrambling. So good job by Coach Blue. Great adjustment there. That's what I said. You asked me what I'd done if I was Bethel when I had Uzziah in the game. I'd press because you have a big guy back there.
Yeah, those 4 fouls really doing damage to Bethel's rotation right now, and that's a turnover by Drew Vire. There comes Edwards. Nice lay.
What a quarter. Edwards just take this whole quarter. Prep's on a 10-0 run right now.
Yep.
Edwards just take this whole quarter and send it to every college coach in the country. The recruiting will go up.
And now the trap is discombobulating Bethel. It is a 10-0 run for Georgetown Prep. Totally trying to end it. And he does with a triple. Much needed. Stop the bleeding.
Much needed. Stop the bleeding. Cuts it to 5 on a 10-0 run.
Hey, the clock is running right now. Now they blow the whistle because about 3 or 4 seconds ticked off right there. 12.3 for Prep, who can hold for the last shot if they would like.
I would shoot with about 9 seconds, with about 3 seconds. Wait 9, shoot with 3 seconds left to get a tip in.
Subs for both teams. We'll see what Prep does here. And there is a little bit of press from Bethel. Soft press.
See, I like that. Don't foul.
Edwards, deep triple. It's good. Nothing but net for Bruiser Edwards, and he's feeling himself in the third quarter.
Right, greatest quarter of his life.
That was an unreal quarter for Bruiser Edwards. He had 15 in that third quarter alone, and he capped it off with about a 28-foot three-pointer here, putting Prep Hoyas up by 8.
That's why coaching's interesting, because I would say to my team, did we really lose the guy that has the headband that's been scoring every time in this quarter? I'll go over this again. He's got a headband on, and he scored all the points this quarter, but yet we left him open. That's why coaching's not easy.
8-point lead for Georgetown Prep, and we've talked about the level of talent that's come out of the DMV area, but how about last year alone? We're going to go through a lot of these players who are now playing in college in their freshman year. It started with Nate Ament. He was the number 4 recruit last year, killing it right now in Knoxville for the
We had
Bulls.
him 2 years ago in the snow. That's the first time I met him.
He's incredible. Then you got the 2 boys who are in Michigan State right now, including Christy Winter Scott's son, Jordan Scott. Both WAPO first team all met.
They won yesterday, beat Northwestern.
Eric Ryba continuing a long line of big men in Connecticut, following Alex Caravan and Donovan Klingon. He's playing up there for Dan Hurley right now, doing a really good job. Then you got the 2 Villanova boys, Chris Jeffrey and Akaden Lewis, 2 incredible, small but very efficient players who come out of the DMV area. And then it finishes off with Derek Dixon. I called a couple of his games last year for Gonzaga. Coach, earlier this year for UNC, they had a really close game. I believe it was against Michigan State, actually. And Derek Dixon closed the game out. He's getting real minutes down there for Hubert Davis.
And they have a couple of players. People aren't talking about Carolina as much as they are. They're really good, but Villanova won with their guys. Look, the DMV guys always find a way, you know. And Towson had a huge win yesterday on the road, number 1 in the CA. Both kids from Paul VI played really well, both in double figures. The WCAC makes guys ready much faster for college.
It's a different game in the DMV, and a quick charge there taken by Kai Gray. Good play to get Bethel hopefully some momentum here as Georgetown Prep creeped out to that 8-point lead down to third.
Don't forget your Wake Forest. Randolph Childers, Charlie Harrison, Tucker, Anthony Tucker. Lots of DMV guys went down there and played well.
That's right. I'm continuing that line. I'm trying to, at least, even though I didn't play basketball in college. Don't know if you can tell from looking at me. Here's Kai Gray, drive and kick. Karan Perez. Now they're working it around. Good hands there by Cole Pierre-Lewis, who's in the game for Georgetown Prep. The sophomore, 6'6", leading the team from deep this year, shooting 38% from downtown.
That's my surprise player of the game. And believe me, I'm not taking anything away from Edwards because he's been outstanding. And I knew he was good. I didn't know he was that good.
How about this stat passed along from our wonderful people here at Monumental Sports Network as Devin Tolley buries a 3. Georgetown Prep won that third quarter 25-15. They only scored 25 points in the first half and then scored 25 in the third quarter alone.
Yeah, and Howard Blue said it. They were a little, lethargic from last night. A lot of emotion, big win. But Bethel came ready to play. You got to stay down on him. Don't foul him.
Yeah, close to getting his 5th foul there. Uzziah Morton running the floor. Karan Perez from Tolley lays it in. Nice reverse.
Tolley just finds ways to win. Howard Blue is beside himself with, he's going to be around the ball. Howard Blue's calling timeout like, you guys are surprised when Tolley or someone comes. That's a few times now, Bijan. Someone's come from behind and stole the ball.
In a flash, it's a 3-point lead for Georgetown Prep. Good start to the half by Bethel Academy. The Washington Capitals road trip continues tonight on Monumental Sports Network when the Caps face off against the Nashville Predators. Pre-game coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. to get you ready for the puck drop at 7. Oh, I love Alex Ovechkin. One of my favorite athletes of all time. My favorite DC athlete, arguably him and John Wall, who was here earlier today. What, you're looking at me like I'm crazy. I love those two.
Number 8 won a lot of games, and Cal Ripken won number 8.
Yes.
And everyone, when I coached, everyone knew who the number 8s were because number 8 was longevity. But very rarely do you have the best player in the game, the toughest player in the game, Ovechkin. This was back in 2004, 5, and 6 when I took the team over at Loyola. And for 9 years, everybody knew, no matter where they were from, who number 8 was in hockey because his feistiness, his ability to play the tough stuff. But boy, does it look like he's still having fun out there, Bijan. No, he likes playing.
Oh, he loves it. And, we all know he's the all-time leader in goals. He's also 40 hits away from the all-time lead in hits in the NHL? No one plays like that.
Nobody plays like that. And wins. And gets the cup. We all know how hard it is. If you go to hockey up close, watch them. They play as hard as they can for 45 seconds to a minute on their shifts. It's amazing.
Shout out to the Caps. Georgetown Prep trying to keep this lead intact. It was 8 at halftime. Now it's just 3.
Doesn't hurt when you have the best goalie in hockey either.
Logan Thompson, shout out LT. Bruiser Edwards, guarded by Gray. That's a fascinating guard matchup. Back to him.
Yeah, that means making him go left. He's not going to make that
Tough shot. That's just fantastic defense by Kai Gray, the junior.
Pushed him left. He can do it off the catch. He's gone right and scored. Good job. Coach Hernandez in the block. And the timeout over there said, can we start making him go left?
Yeah, Bruiser Edwards, we all know he can use the body, but then Kai Gray said, all right, I can do that too, and I'll force you into a tough, uncomfortable three. Turnover.
Tough, feisty. Now, see, he's just bringing. See, that's a good play against the press. Don't give you dribble up.
Gray. He's going to reset at the logo.
Now, see, there's still only 17 seconds left when they start their offense because of the pressure.
Karan Perez down low, can't prosper. Yeah, took his eye off the ball for a split-second turnover.
There he goes.
Edwards into the lane. His hang time, he couldn't finish it, but his hang time is just crazy.
Going right, he has huge chance. Now, this is it running on them.
Gray, and he gets to the line again.
It's funny because Angelo Hernandez said we usually run more, but we don't think we want to run too much today because they don't want to really play into the hands of Georgetown Prep. Yet there's a transition. You got to sprint back. They got a foul call. Now, I don't want to talk about it, but I have to. They've been missing a lot of free throws. You're going to have to make these today if you want to stay in this game.
We mentioned it's been the difference in the game thus far. A clear advantage for Prep from the free throw line. As Gray misses the first, see that you're not going to do yourself any favors missing from the line.
They're free throws. There's nobody up there trying to. I was a big 1 for 2. I don't mind if you go 1 for 2. Just move the clock. I don't like 0 for 2s. I want to move the scoreboard.
Under 6 minutes to go. That's Coach Jimmy Patsos. I'm Bijan Todd. Basketball Day in the DMV Part 2, sponsored by Ticketmaster. Really good games at DeMatha Catholic High School in Hyattsville, Maryland. And this one, you can already tell, is going to come down to the last handful of possessions. Edwards. Juan, guarded by Morton. Yalcin down low. Edwards. Easy as you like. Just catch and shoot from the perimeter.
Yeah, and they could set up. You know, Salim just didn't do anything for himself. Just caught him through right into him. And then he knows how. Oh, good.
Great find from totally down low to Morton. And one. That's how you get back into the game. If he can make his free throw, this game becomes really interesting.
See, they're attacking the press up the sideline. The sideline makes the defense move. See, and then they go cross court. See, it was go up the side. It was twice they've gone up the sideline. They got good looks. Just had to catch the ball last time. Good play by Bethel.
What a find by the only senior on the team, Devin Totley, and good patience as well by Uzziah Morton down low. You catch that ball with 5 feet of space. You think, oh, I'm just going to put it up. No, he waited for the contact.
I'm calling my mid-major division. Totley needs to be going to a school. This guy can play.
Absolutely.
Scores, passes, leader.
Finishes the three-point play, but he gets subbed out. Again, you got to conserve his minutes. He does have those 4 fouls. 5.5 to go here.
Plenty of time. It's a 1-point game. Your mission accomplished. If you're Bethel, you clawed your way back in. It was 6 or 7. Thought they were going to pull away Georgetown Prep. Big 3 by who else? Totally.
And now you might be playing chess here. As Sinan Juan goes in, he's going to go to the line. If you're Angelo Hernandez, you might be playing chess. You say, all right, I'm going to take out my big guy down low because if Howard Blue of Georgetown Prep decides to put out that 7-footer lineup of Juan and a Ewick, I'm going to need some physicality to match that. So he might be holding his cards.
Salim's tall, and
he is 6'7".
Kyle Davis is the one that's kind of turned this thing around. He's linebacker, going to play Power 5 football, but he knows how to play basketball. He's strong. They're bigger. And like I've said, to Pierre Lewis, I don't want to keep saying his name to get him too confident, but no, he's an outstanding sophomore. They're bigger at 4 positions right now. But what's your skill? Use your quickness. What they can't do is foul. Those are just free points, and Juan's going to make those, you know.
He will. He's got 16 points. He's averaging 18.5 this season. And they do sub in Morton again, Bethel does, to counteract that. Juan finishes.
Really good touch for the lefty. He's really improved in every area of his game.
Can you think of another lefty 7-footer?
The Gasals were.
There you go. That was a test and you passed. Congratulations. Karan Perez for 3 in and out. Yalcin got fouled. Yes, he did. Good effort on the boards by the junior from Turkey.
Derek Coleman was a good lefty who was 6'11". I think he was 7 foot.
5 minutes to go. Really good game here in Hyattsville. 3-point lead for Prep, trying to extend it. Totally hits the deck.
See, they're running their offense.
Pierre Lewis short on his 3. Rebound Gray.
As good as I've said he played today, I didn't like that shot.
Totally leaks out. Got the layup over Yalcin.
Old school. That's from playing on the playground. He knew the big guy was coming. Leaned in, can't block that, used the rim. He's outstanding.
1 point lead for Prep. Every game today has been a barn burner. Juan downhill. Stripped foul. Yes, it's on Morton. And that's another foul on Uzziah Morton, I believe. Are they calling it on 35? Yes, they are.
He just fouled him out of the game.
There's the foul. Great finish there. And then here's the foul by Uzziah Morton. Yeah, he did get him on the arm, didn't he?
I don't know. I thought I would have given it to Toby. If I was the official, I would have given it to Toby because you know that he can.
And I think Angelo Hernandez is arguing that point. He says that's 5 on Uzziah Morton, and Angelo Hernandez is calling a timeout. Or he wants to call a timeout. He's close to half court here. Better watch himself. Doesn't want to get teed up. They're challenging the play. Here we go, Coach. Okay, I'm rubbing my hands together. We've been waiting for this all day. We got a challenge on our hands. It's new in the basketball day in the DMV this year. The coaches are going to go to the monitors. Oh, this is exciting. Where's Bill Kennedy when you need him? This is exactly what I was hoping for. So we're going to get some looks here at the replay. I'm not sure if Angelo Hernandez is challenging the fact that it's a foul.
The foul was on number 4. That was his foul was on number 4.
Coach talking to his buddy, the official. I think they're trying to argue who the foul was on. Was it on for Totally or Uzziah Morton?
On 4 because I want the big guy to
yeah, it is on Totally.
And I'm 59 and sitting over here at the table and I saw that.
See, look, you see, because you're wise beyond your years. You can tell you.
I used to ref from half court. I used to ref my games because I didn't want a lot of foul calls in practice. But I could tell 4 reached in.
4 reached in, so the foul's going to, if the officials overturn this, the Juan is going to the line either way. The foul will be on Devin Totally, so Uzziah Morton stays in the game with those 4 fouls.
Gary Stein always gets it right. Not as good as Jackie Lowe, but he's still pretty good.
And the officials rule that the foul is going on Totally, so Uzziah Morton stays in the game with those 4 fouls. We love the replay center here in Monumental Sports.
Hey, as long as replays are quick and you want to get it right. And I'm not joking because Jackie Lowe was an official that did, from Carol Holmes to Morgan Woon to Joe Gallagher, everybody, and Gary Stein's his buddy. And yesterday you had Ty. Really good officials. Mark Stern leaves no stone uncovered. Every little detail. I wish there was a little more crowd here today, but, there's a lot of games to go to when the NFL's on and all that. Yesterday the crowds were better. I do think that every little thing Mark Stern has done to make this a great day. And I believe that this is the perfect venue for it.
I agree.
One location. I know the Capone Arena was nice. Perfect size. Easy to get to, good parking, but lots of history for everyone to see.
Absolutely. You have no idea how quickly I perked up when Angelo Hernandez said he was going to challenge the call. I was like, we're going to the monitors. Let's go. Go to the monitors.
I love it. This is your generation. But as long as you get it right, I'm cool with it. But you know what? Here he is making his free throws again. This is like... Sudan is just jinxed him.
That's a big board by Yeltsin as well. To make more points off this possession.
That's twice to have enough free throw rebounds, and that could end badly.
Juan from 15. No. Rebound Kyle Davis. More opportunities for Prep. Davis can't hit. Morton trying to grab the board and does.
I want to see him in a year. If his family and his friends are listening, what improvements he's made. Keep going.
Corner. Cam Prosper for 3. Got it. And Bethel's back on top.
And Totally is just inspiring this team with his play. And he's fired up on the side, and he made a great pass, but they're running that slip screen right there. They have to switch that. Bethel does full play zone. Now Bethel's matching up pretty good here. I'd help right away. Good pass.
Davis shot fake. Yeltsin, corner 3. Short. Rebound Gray.
See, that's why he came here from Turkey to make those big shots. This is a learning curve.
What a game this is. Back and forth. Georgetown Prep dominated the 3rd quarter. Bethel back on the horse to start the 4th. 3:15 to go. 9 ties, 7 lead changes in this game. Thanks for our stats crew.
You can't do better. Keanu's unbelievable with the stats. He's so happy GW scored 100 points in 1 yesterday. Totally drew a foul. Drives it left. See, older guy can drive it left. They took away his right hand. Drives it left. Goes in and gets fouled. Nothing but toughness for this guy.
They're going to get Yeltsin on the call. That's the correct call. And this is the thing we've talked about all day, Coach. Can Bethel hit their free throws? If they can hit them in the 4th, it kind of wipes away all the problems they had in the first 3 quarters. From the line, that is. Oh boy, totally still struggles. That was the announcer jinx, I'm afraid to say. Serious free throw discrepancy between Prep and Bethel, and totally trying to.
You know what's funny? I don't mind any of that, Bijan, until it's the fourth quarter with 3 minutes to go.
That's right.
And I want to make my free throws. Then Uncle Jimmy's not so happy when we're missing free throws because we're trying to get out of here with a win. Like early, it's okay.
Totally hits 1 and 2. 2-point lead. 3:02 remaining. Energy picking up in the stands at DeMatha. Morton's on the bench, by the way, for Bethel. Let's see how Prep tries to use their size. Edwards can't hit the mid. He gets his own. Turns it over. Good pickup by Joe McCarthy, who's into the game for the Blazers. Can Bethel extend their lead? Gray. Down low to Colby Murphy. Guarded by Juan. He's got a long reach. Takes it right out, Juan. Great defense by the 7-footer. Edwards from his knees needs to get it out.
Good hustle.
Great defensive play by Sinan Juan. He does do it on both ends.
Yeah, it's good hustle to get that loose ball. That was kicking around there for a second.
Mismatch here between Juan and Joe McCarthy, but he dumps it off. He's wide open.
Pass. He just didn't catch it smooth.
Juan taking it in. Totally got his hands in there, and they're going to get him for a foul.
I think it was the right call. Emery's going to grab it left. Yes, so neither team's in the bonus. See, the refs have not blown as many whistles. I like that.
That's tough for a guy that size to go straight up while moving.
Yeah, that was a foul.
Full timeout here. 2-point lead for Bethel. Exactly 2 minutes remaining. You can call this a 2-minute warning if you'd like. Devin Totley, the only senior on the team for Be The One, a.k.a. Bethel Academy. And he's leading the Blazers here. He struggled from the free throw line, but he's done pretty much everything else on the floor offensively.
I already texted a bunch of coaches I know that need to recruit him because he does a little of everything, but he shoots threes up the catch. But he's leading his team when you watch him off the sideline. He's telling everybody what to do, where to go. He almost had that loose ball hit the floor. You know, the best team, when the best player hits the floor, you're in business, you know. Like, he's done. They have a 2-point lead. Bijan, you did not think this was going to be a 2-point game?
I did not. Well, not after the third quarter when Georgetown Prep won it by 10.
Going neither did I. Going in, you thought Georgetown Prep was 10 points better than this team. Coach, you watch warm-ups and you say, look at the size difference and the depth difference. Bethel got a lot of heart, and I got to tell you, I just think Uzziah Morton was better than everything. He held his own today. He's given them presence in the middle. He scored, but he made a 3. He's done a little, and now along with Toby has kind of that 1-2 punch has kept Bethel. Now they have a 2-point lead.
That's what I was going to mention, Coach. Uzziah Morton still on the bench. Ever since that challenge, he does have 1 foul left. He's got 4 fouls. They might be conserving his services here or is he going to get up and play here? Let's see. Not yet, it looks like. They might hold him in here until the last minute or so of play, but it's a 2-point lead for Bethel. If you extend this lead, you don't need to put him in.
They've taken the lead without him. Sometimes you got to say, hey, this is working now.
If they get a stop and a bucket, hey, Uzziah Morton can sit for the rest of the game potentially.
They're going to run a good out-of-bounds play. They're going to run a little counter here. Nice.
Edwards, corner 3, no. Rebound, Kyle Davis. He got fouled, I think, before the shot.
Kyle Davis is doing it all. That's why he's a tough football player. He's got long arms, but he's ready to play. He saw that from the corner was going to miss, and he jumped in the air first. Higher level of basketball you got to jump. Boxing out's not a thing as you go to this level and above.
Another out-of-bounds opportunity here for Pratt. Baseline out.
They run the stagger. This time they stay with it.
They're going to air it out to Sinan Juan.
That's what's nice about having a 7-footer to throw it into at the end.
Plenty of time for both teams.
Can't let him go right.
His body. Great defense by Gray, stripping it, but it's going to stay on this side.
Can't let him go right with that much momentum, Bijan. They're lucky. They got lucky there, Bethel.
Really good hands by Kai Gray here. Another out-of-bounds play for Georgetown Prep. Let's see if they run a different look.
Davis isn't going to shoot it from there. He's just going to try to get it out.
Kai Gray is just hounding guys on defense.
Gone for that
Edwards,
steal.
Pierre Lewis, corner 3, no. Rebound, Yeltsin. Another big board for Prep, dominating the O boards. 15 on the shot clock for Edwards. 1:30 to go in regulation. They're trying to feed Juan. You can tell he's got the mismatch with Joe McCarthy. Edwards tied up. And they're going to get a blocking foul. Coach, I thought that might have been a jump ball. Let's take another look at this one. There's a tie-up. Let's see what happened first. Ooh, I don't know about that one. You can't challenge again if you're Angelo Hernandez. You already used it, and it worked.
Got to live with it. He kind of beats you off the dribble, but was it a jump ball? Of course it was a jump ball.
Not much you can do about it. Colossal free throws here, and Edward.
And the basketball God's answer.
Ball don't lie, as they say. And here comes Uzziah Morton. Now this gets really interesting. 82 seconds to go.
I like what both coaches have played really good chess moves. Both coaches have used their bench. I love the youth of Georgetown Prep. You said it. At one point they didn't have a senior out there. Bethel only has one senior. What I like is Morton. Now you got to play him. A, he might score inside. B, they probably could have called a few fouls. I don't mind that foul because I thought Shunan was getting fouled the whole time. He was trying to post up. The big guy doesn't have to fight him that way.
Bruiser goes 1 of 2 at the line. It's a 1-point lead for Bethel.
Can't ask for a better game.
Cannot. This is the 3rd game out of 3 today that has come down to the last handful of possessions. Georgetown Prep bench very vocal. Gray has 18 to work with. He's guarded by the linebacker, Kyle Davis. Here comes Morton. Gets the screen. Totley for 3. Big bucket by Devin Totley. And he's flexing on him in Hyattsville. Four-point lead for Bethel. They call themselves Be the One, and Devin Totley has been the one in the second half. What a nice action for the Blazers. And you rely on the senior coach.
That's you on video doing that, Bijan. You're the man. Don't think for a second that wasn't an outstanding executed play. And what did you say about having Morton back in the game? His size, they couldn't get over the screen.
That screen started everything, yes. Let's listen into the Georgetown Prep huddle right here.
We're going to be aggressive. You guys understand that. We want to go early, pick and roll. We want to drag it early. If it's not the roll guy's not there, and you don't have a clear attack to the layup, we're swinging the ball, and we're going to get 4 around 1 spacer so that we can look inside and get it right away. Go right away. Don't look around. Don't do anything. Go right away. If you're holding the ball, what's your options, Kyle? Dive or screen away. What's your option? One or the other. No standing around.
Coach, I'm going to ask you right here. We just went into the huddle with Howard Blue and Georgetown Prep. You're down 4, plenty of time, 53 seconds. But what do you do here lineup-wise? It looks like they're going to go with Juan and Yalcin. They're keeping a Uke on the bench. They're not going to go with the double 7-footer lineup.
No, you got to score points right now.
And Yalcin is shooting 38% from deep.
Despite a 15-6 run, Pierre Lewis is playing really well. You got your best lineup out there right now. I want to get a quick 2. No matter who can get it, because Bethel's scared to foul right now. His coach has told him don't foul. You can't let him go right. He doesn't. He gets over the screen.
Bethel's won.
Left again.
Bethel's won the 4th quarter 18-6.
Not going to shoot.
They're trying to get it down low. Kyle Davis tries to clean up his own mistake. Juan's in the coffin corner. 12 to shoot. Juan, Davis, Pierre Lewis. Clutch 3 by Pierre Lewis.
Told you he's been playing great. Davis wasn't going to shoot it. That's the one thing they did a good job. They backed off him, right? Kyle Davis wasn't going to shoot it, but they lost a shooter in the corner. All off of that loose ball led to this.
They made something out of nothing. This loose ball, you thought this possession was over.
Had to help on him. And then Davis, what a play. See, that's like Draymond Green did that against Michigan State, did that against Maryland. He passed it when they hit the game-winning 3 against Gary Williams and Gravis. Making that little play right there, Bijan, was huge for Davis.
Now that's coaching. Cole Pierre Lewis, the sophomore 6'6", who just hit that shot. He leads Georgetown Prep. He's shooting 38% from 3 this year.
And been playing well today.
Yes,
been playing well today.
Get the ball in the hands of your shooter. He's averaging a hair under 7 points a game, but he is lights out from downtown. And he hit the biggest shot of his season just now. But, this is a big but. 29.1 on the clock. Do you foul?
Well, I try and steal it first. I like their little press they had. I might go a little more aggressive on that. They have that 1-2-2 press. Well, watch this. They're throwing it over the top. They forced them sideline. You got to force them sideline right away, Bijan, and trap, as you called it, the coffin corner. You have to trap where the sideline and the half-court line are already there. And then everyone in the back has to become an interceptor. No more hanging around. If you got them trapped, you got to go for the interception. After that, you can foul.
And the press has discombobulated Bethel at times in this game, especially in that third quarter.
Well, if I'm Georgetown prep, I also play. You're an analytics guy. Look, I always like someone in the ball. No, they're not shooting free throws well, so maybe you should just foul for the next 30 seconds.
That's right. Huge aspect of this game is that Bethel has struggled from the line. That's tipped out. Good hands by Evan Edwards.
Now he can't run. Now he can't run. The referee should tell him you can't run.
It only took 0.8 seconds off the clock. Let's see what they work here. Down low to Totally, the senior tries to split the D, and he gets a blocking foul on Bruiser. Put it in the hands of your senior. I like this move by Bethel.
Split the trap. I'm not sure. That was a pretty good trap, but he split it. That's all right. If that's your plan, to just don't foul is what Howard Blue's saying, but he split it. Got to go foot to foot. It's all right. He's a tough guy. He totally knows what he's doing. So
the only senior on the team
to split it against a 7-footer. That's a downsize of a 7-footer. You know, how low can he get?
And Totally again struggles from the line, Coach. That's been the Achilles heel for Bethel thus far. Totally, though, has got a 20-point game.
25 and 5.
That's right. 5 rebounds, 5 assists.
He can't do anymore except make this free throw. Why? Because we'd like to cut it to. We don't want it to be 1. We'd rather be up 2.
That's right. And a big timeout here by Howard Blues, trying to ice the kicker, so to speak, but also get his ducks in a row. We got a lot of basketball coming your way on Basketball Day in the DMV Part 2. The first 3 games, including this one, have been pretty remarkable. They've all come down to the wire. Coming up after this, Coach, you and I are calling the Spalding game against Gonzaga. 2 stud sophomores for that Spalding team, Nash Avery and Braxton Bogart. Can't wait to see them. And then finally tonight, it's Clinton Grace taking on St. Andrews. So more marquee basketball coming up on Mon Sports.
I mean, Spalding's got 2 sophomores that are as good as anybody in the country. Gonzaga's had 100 players go Division I, including high major, and one who hit a jump shot to beat Villanova's first national championship. Chris had that, Jenkins. So you're talking about Spalding where Rudy Gay went. Well, Josh Pratt has 2 sophomores that are really good right now. And the guy who played there 2 years ago, one of the Lucas, the quarterback of Maryland, who's going to be in the NFL. Gonzaga, Keith Ergo's first year, outstanding coach. He was at Fordham, Penn State, Villanova. Ergo's coming home because Turner went to Montverde. Once again, this is how this whole area works. Keith Ergo is going to turn Gonzaga, and they're feisty. But give him a year or 2. They got a young team, too. I saw them play up at Iona Prep in New York. That's a big battle coming up, Baltimore, D.C.
1-point lead for Bethel. Totally at the line. Here's another important aspect of this. Prep is out of timeouts. Bethel has 2, but Prep is out. So if they get caught ball watching, that could be curtains.
What has he done? He's made 1 out of 2 each time. See, another winner. I'll take my 1 out of 2. He's trying not to let him go left. He doesn't want Edwards to go right. I mean, he's forcing him left.
Edwards guarded by Gray. Davis.
Yeah, good help. Davis is going to shoot the 3. Davis kind of knows his game. He doesn't try to do stuff. Ooh, nice.
Edwards into the lane. Got it at 1. He's going to the line.
He finally goes left and finishes. He fouled him.
What a play by the junior Bruiser Edwards, the player of the game for Georgetown Prep.
Had the courage to go left. That's a foul. At that point, you should. That's why they say to jump and try and block it. You're better off going up with them. Probably not a foul. Might block it. Reaching from the ground, never going to work.
This is for the lead. Need to crash for both teams. If he misses, which he does, rebound Cam Prosper. And one of the final timeouts taken by Angelo Hernandez. He has 1 remaining, but his team with a tie game, Coach, 8.5 left.
With the overtime, Bijan. No pizza for you.
You can't say the O word with 10 seconds, 8.5 seconds left. Coach, come on.
5 more minutes of basketball.
I do love bonus basketball, but what a sequence. Bruiser Edwards with an incredible and 1. Can't convert the free throw, and this incredible day of basketball is going to continue with the final 8.5 seconds.
This is where having the shot blocking ability of Georgetown Prep helps. Although I would run the same play that they just ran. Gray comes off the screen going left. Morton rolls. Here comes Totally, except don't give it to him and go lay it in. Coach, everybody's going to play Totally.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. Whose hands do you put it in? Do you put it in the senior Devin Totely's hands?
No, I put it in Kai Gray's.
That's right. Kai Gray, who's been the best defender on the team thus far?
Well, he's on offense now, and he has to run the ball going left. What I'm saying is they just ran it. The second time they're going to know what's going on. Everyone's going to know what Totally. Either go lay it in or dump it off to Morton for the win. Because they're going to go. He's going left off the screen. Here comes Totally flying up from the corner. Everyone's going to see Toby go. If the hick of the shot blockers bounce it to the big guy, catch and lay it in. If not, overtime.
Just a couple
Don't give
minutes
enough
ago.
time so they can score the other way, Bijan.
Take the last shot. Now, just a couple minutes ago, we saw that. Bethel was up by 1. They brought in Morton. He set a huge screen up top. That freed up Devin Totley for a 3. So now Morton's on the bench, though. Bethel's putting out Colby Murphy, Kai Gray, Devin Totley, Karan Perez, and Cam Prosper. This is the game.
Howard Blue is not going to have anyone on the ball. I don't love that because it's much easier to inbound the ball.
Prosper's going to inbound. Totley, they do put it in the hands of the senior. Trying to break the press.
He's got to go the whole way.
6 seconds. Totley. Whistle. That shot will not count. Final timeout taken by Angelo
Georgetown
Hernandez.
Prep, outstanding job of staying low, moving your feet, and not fouling. And Totley was trying to go right, and they ran to the sideline. Now, there he could have maybe given it up, but at that point, Totley, you have to go and make a play. It's a good timeout.
2.7 on the clock. Of course, the big thing is that they advanced it into the half court, so now you can run an actual set here. Let's go inside Bethel's huddle, biggest huddle of their season.
If you can throw the ball to the foul line, you're in good shape.
Come up inside. Make him switch. Make him switch. If he's on this side of you, he'll go up this side. Make him switch, turn, seal. Let's look at the rim. If it's not there, don't fucking throw it, guys. Do not throw the fucking ball back here. Do not fucking throw the ball back here. They don't have any timeout.
Angelo Hernandez drawing up the final play of regulation here, Coach. 2.7 on the clock. We'll see what personnel they put out there. I wonder who they're going to put it, who they're going to give it to here.
There was a lot of red lines there at the end. I'm not sure which way the guy was supposed to go. There's like 20 red lines. But what he's doing is, no, he's right. He's saying what I'm saying. Just get it to the free throw line, then you can read. If they take away right, go left. If they back off, take a jump shot. If the worst thing that's going to happen is we're either going to get fouled or we're going to make a shot to win the game. So we're definitely going to overtime. So there's less pressure. That's what you say in the huddle. No pressure.
No pressure. 2.7 on the clock.
Now they have the big guy in.
Murphy to inbound. Down to Morton. Morton got it. He hit it with 1 second to go. And the game is over. Uzziah Morton wins it for Bethel.
Did you see how they faced to the foul line? What an outstanding play. That's why you got to have someone on the ball taking that side away. That pass is too easy. What an outstanding play.
What a finish in Hyattsville. Uzziah Morton, who was riding 4 fouls for the entire second half.
All because of your challenge.
The challenge, that he got that 5th foul. Coach Angelo Hernandez challenged it, went against Devin Totley instead of him. They put it in his hands down low, and he wins the game. That is unbelievable.
I wanted overtime, but sorry, Bijan.
And guess what? Bethel snaps their 3-game losing
play
streak.
right here. Watch. He sets the down screen and seals.
Talk that talk. Uzziah Morton, you won the game.
Sets the down screen for Kai.
Oh, that is
right. Nobody on the ball. It's too easy. If you remember how Leitner caught the shot when Duke beat Kentucky, nobody was on the ball. That's too easy of a pass.
What a drawn-up play by Angelo Hernandez. Uzziah Morton finishes with 10 points, 9 boards, and guess what? He was 1 rebound short of a double-double, but he almost left this game in the 3rd quarter.
This is a guy that's lost 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Watch out for him coming. He is a big time. He is going to only keep getting better. Terrence Stroh's listening out there. Oliver Miller, all the big guys that have just gotten a little bit of shape with good hands. Morton, his day is coming.
Player of the game, presented by Ticketmaster, is Devin Totley, the only senior on this team. The official ticket marketplace of the Washington Wizards. Ticketmaster sponsors the player of the game. They put it in his hands late, not on the final play, but it was his composure coach that guided Bethel to the win.
He's outstanding. I mean, he was ready to play from the minute it started. He did a little of everything. And you know what? He's a winner. And he left St. John's High School, hard to play in the deal. He's not the tallest guy in the world, but he sure is the toughest. But he was a good teammate. He played good defense. He got dove in the fall for loose bounce, but he hit that big 3 when you said when they were down. And then there, decoy, nice pass. Coach gets good. Coach did an outstanding job. Coach did an outstanding job.
Well, we got to take a breath. Devin Tolley, player of the game, the transfer from St. John's. Again, the only senior on this Blazers team. Blazers really struggled from the free throw line. They missed 10 of them, but they overcame that, Coach, thanks to their physicality down low. And the player of the game, Devin Tolley, is standing by with our Juliana Morgan.
Devin, this game came down to the wire. Walk me through those final moments.
Through the huddle, we were just telling ourselves to be together, to stay together through it all. Like we came in, we had back-to-back losses, but I was telling everybody we due for a win today. So we come in this Sunday just ready to prepare and get battle, and that's what we came out here and did, executed in the finish.
You had 2 seconds left in the game, and you managed to get it done. How did you maintain your composure in those final 2 seconds?
Just telling everybody to stay composed, like stay even. Like we've been here before. We've been battle-tested, but just staying together and trusting each other and executing the play, and that's what happened.
So now, how did your teammates set you up that might have not showed up in the box score, but really helped you get this win?
They just continue to trust in me. I continue to trust in them, pouring to them, telling like we got this, we're gonna figure it out, and then they trusted me in the stretch, and it paid off. So, yeah.
Georgetown Prep's got a ton of big guys. How does it feel to really get that win against them?
Yeah, it's great, man. They do got some big guys, some 7-footers, but it was tough. But we, like I said, we've been here before, so we just had to buckle down and get the win, and that's what we did.
Congratulations on the win, a big one. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Juliana. Thank you, Devin. And thank you, Mark Stern, for setting up Basketball Day in the DMV, because we've had 3 unreal games on our hands, and coming up, it should be another one. It's Spalding against Gonzaga. Uzziah Morton gets the win for Bethel over Georgetown Prep. We got a lot of basketball coming your way, folks. On Monumental Sports Network, Gonzaga Spalding. For Jimmy Patsos, I'm Bijan Todd. Thanks for watching.